All right, I want to welcome everyone. Welcome to our self-care awareness spinoff to YouTube. This is Go with the Flow with SwayLo, and this is my guest this week is Akoma, and she's a house member of self-care awareness on Clubhouse. Which Clubhouse? We've been there for a little bit over 2 years. We do self-care awareness every Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're supposed to be in there on Wednesday for self awareness, but I did miss yesterday, and I usually miss that, but we're getting better with that. But with that being said, I want to welcome my guest this week, and I want to thank you for being here. I want to actually thank you for being in the self care awareness room, loving on yourself, doing the self care awareness because it's a journey, and you know just as well as I know it's a journey. And I'm grateful that you are saying, hey, you know what? I wanna tell a little bit about my process because a lot of people they don't understand it's a process. They think, okay, well, once I change, things are supposed to happen just right then and there, or I don't have to change right now. I'm supposed to, reap my blessings first. But it's all a process, and we all have one, and it's always different. Everyone's process is different. So I want to thank you again for being here, and again, talk about your process. So I'm just gonna pass the mic over to you and introduce yourself and let us know who you are, where you came from, through and to.
All right. Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I was thinking, oh, it's so amazing. Just to be on the show with you, to be, to be part of this, it's so powerful. And thank you for your work. You've done, you've shared, you've helped me in so many ways with your ideas, with so much. Yeah, so I'm so thankful to be here. I am a coma Iboiku, and what do I do? I'm actually a writer. I like to share transformational ideas with the world to make the world a more peaceful place. And I do this different ways. One way is writing, another is blogging. And my journey has been quite interesting. You know, I remember, I'm not sure exactly how, well, I'd like to know how much you want to know because, so so how I started the process of coming to self care, being aware of myself. At first, it was that I wasn't sure what my place in the world or the value I brought into the world, and so that had me thinking, how valuable am I? What am I really? What are my core strengths? Is it enough? Asking questions like this, and what I found out was that it, the what I found out that through observation, really, it was through observation, through those reflection questions, I was able to convince myself, rather come to the truth, was unshakable, of who I am and my worth and my value. That really changed a lot of things for me. It changed the way I appreciated myself, you know, the way I talk to myself and the kinds of things um, the kinds of things I decided, okay, I can do and what I wanted to in and how I wanted to do them, or rather the kind of enthusiasm I brought into the things I wanted to do. Like when you believe in something, you want to do it, right? That kind of thing. So it
Right.
was more strengthening, encouraging, etc. So this is. I hope it's not too. Or just let me know if there are any other questions I could share more on.
No, 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 no. It's that's why it's go with the flow.
All
It's
right, let's
what
go.
how
Let's
what
go.
yeah, whatever
Okay.
you feel, however you feel, led to discuss because this is your journey. I just want people to be comfortable in speaking because it's not easy. It's not easy when you start self-reflecting and you start understanding, wait a minute, I could actually be doing this stuff and it's my fault that I'm not because of the things that I'm choosing. And so and that's why I always talk about a deprogram and reprogram. So, but no, like I said, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Oh, that's pretty much. So I feel that you know the way we're programmed, the way I wasn't really reflecting a lot on the things. I just heard something. I believed a lot of things that I w- you know I heard and I was told, and I just saw without asking myself questions to see if this is something that's true or not. And in fact, I was, what's it called, suppressing my own internal intuition, like telling me, okay, no, you don't want to do that, or doesn't even make any sense, or and explore that more. So I was suppressing that to be able to fit in, to be
Mm-hmm.
accepted. And after some time, it's like you realize that I realized that it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all, because what you get for fitting in versus what you get for being who you're supposed to show up as, and who you really are innately, how you were created wonderfully, fearfully, um, crafted.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's incomparable. It's incomparable, the kind of uh, support you get just for being yourself, for being your best self, for working to bring out your best personality. I felt that. I mean, I saw that. I observed that there was a lot of support from God. I mean, everything supports a person who who walks in their purpose. So it wasn't like so it's so much better to just be, um, to embrace your own self. So
Because you
that's one of the things that
what
helped me.
because once you do, you get and I'm just speaking from my own self experience. So you get this self of freeness. You feel free because it's like, wait a minute, I should have been doing this a long time ago, and I can relate to what you're talking about because I really feel that I should have been doing this speaking thing a long time ago, but it was instilled in me. No one wanted to hear my story. No one wanted to listen to the things that was coming out of my mouth. This came from my family. And I left, but then all of those things were instilled in me. And so I stopped talking. I stopped. And then life happened. And then when life happened, I realized I was like, wait a minute, I have a voice. I mean, and people really want to hear my story. So that's why I was like, okay, well, it's not just me.
Hmm.
There's a lot of people. And then when I got on Clubhouse and I started paying attention to how people were like, oh, you only have 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and that's it. And then sometimes people are like, oh, well, this is not the space for this. We don't want to hear that. And I was like, but you're not helping anyone. So that's when I was like, okay, now this is my time. But reason, season, lesson, blessing. We all have to go through our, like I said, we all have to go through our process. Um, Maybe at that time, if we would have did what we were supposed to do, thought we were supposed to do, maybe we would have lost everything. I don't know. But I can tell you, I'm grateful that you decided to start looking at yourself, saying, okay, well, this is what I want to do. Because writer, so what I mean, what all do you write? I mean, because there's a lot of talent in that. If you can sit down and write, that blogging, that takes concentration, that takes patience, that takes a lot. A lot of people can't do that. So I mean, you want to share some of your talents with us?
Sure, of course. You know, I, you know, I have this. I would say I have this habit of just observing, and when I listen to myself, it makes it a big difference. When I discovered the power of being thankful, it was just observing. It was through observing. So I started writing about it,
Mm.
and what I found was, yeah, the power of gratitude. And what do I write? I write stories to to instill thoughtfulness and just reflection on gratitude, because I think this is gives us perspective, and this is so important. It's something that is the missing one of the missing links. And
Mhm.
since then, I've been writing about gratitude, forgiveness. It's much more recently, although I got the impression to start a long time ago, and I don't know why I waited so long. That's something I've been writing about most recently. I also let's see, write short stories to just again just bring it back to reflections on gratitude. That's what I've been writing
So that's
about.
a major part of your self-care awareness as well, too. Sounds like because
Yes,
it's reflective.
Yes, I found that when you share, you learn more, right? And
Yeah,
you learn more and you grow in that as well. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
And life becomes very, very peaceful.
yes, you have much more. It's with people who do this, they have, they see things differently. They have a different way of seeing things, you know. And you share a lot, you know, you share a lot of golden nuggets, you know, in your room. So I've learned a
Yeah.
lot, you know, like the importance of really taking the time um to find out who you really are, you know, and just who you really are, what you know, choosing. I think choosing, knowing your power of choosing and making that choice, you know, for what's best for oneself. Well, that's in a nutshell. Well, I always learn something when I come to your room. Yeah.
It's not it like I said, because you the programming that was instilled in me was is not what I actually show in the room. You know, the because I actually came from a narcissistic family. You know, I came from and I also had narcissistic traits growing up, but I had to understand, wait a minute, that's not how it is. So, and when I talk about deprogram and reprogram, everything that I talk about in the room on Saturday, that's my whole life. It's nothing that no one told me. There's nothing that you know, I saw someone else. Now, some of those things I might be like, well, I saw someone do this, but the majority of it, that's my entire life, and it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so that's why I feel that, you know, I have to come back and tell my story, because my mess is my message for someone else to understand what we all go through is necessary for our growth. It's necessary for us to gain wisdom, strength, and courage. But we all have to understand that we all are equipped to go through the process. We just have to look deep inside and, like how you said, self-reflect. Self-reflection is the key to having a happy, peaceful life. And once you start doing that, and like I said, me coming from a narcissistic family, especially my pops. Oh my God, that dude, he was always, well, baby, if you love daddy, you'll do this, and if you love daddy, you'll do that. And it was always something wrong, and it was always something that was gonna hurt me. As long as he looked like the good guy, and I, you know, the bad was or the wrong was on me, it didn't matter. So I had to grow out of that. I had to leave. And like I said, I love my family from afar. Um, and that's why I tell you, you know, when on Clubhouse, what I tell everyone, welcome home, family, because that's the family that we made. I'm not going to say that I made, because I didn't do anything, because without God, none of this would be possible. God had to come in and bring me from, through, and to, and say, don't be ashamed of anything that you've been through, because I've saved you. And now here you are, and not just you. You know, Andrew was first. Now here's you, and there's plenty of more. You know, there's from the clubhouse streets in the house that's going to be on here, because this is all I really want. I want the family to grow, and it's not about any type of fame. Now, for me, I'm just talking about for me. It's not about any fame. It's not about any fortune. It's about everyone loving themselves and saying, I can do it, and I can do any and everything through Christ. And that is what a lot of people are missing. A lot of people are missing that you can do it. Put your mind to it, apply all of your knowledge, apply everything that you have, and if whatever you don't have, pray for it. And God will give you the rest. And if you don't have the funds or the ways to even get it, guess what? He'll give that to you too. But it's up to you. You have to say, this is what I want. And the naysayers, they have to go. That some of the people closest to you, they don't want to see you succeed. They would rather see you right there with them, so y'all could kick it, so y'all can party, y'all could do whatever. But God has something different for all of us. We might be comfortable, but of course, what's my saying? Sometimes the comfort zone is very much well your destruction zone.
Hmm.
So again, thank
Wow.
you.
That's
Yeah,
that's that's true. Very powerful. Yes, absolutely. I resonate with what you're saying. You mentioned about people not seeing that actually God is the source of all these good things, all the good things that He is the giver, is a divine. He is the provider. He gives us all every single thing, and it's. I think when we start seeing that, then it's that like exactly what you said. Ask and He will give it to you.
Hmm.
I like what you I said. Like I like that, and it must be very. I mean, you had the courage, to step out and just say, step out of what wasn't working, and to do the things to get your to get aligned with your purpose. And sometimes it's definitely very difficult. So I have a lot of respect for that. Like you're choosing, to work in your purpose versus just um, you know staying where you were, or just, I mean, you've told us your story, and it's just mind blowing. How you do what you do, and I mean, having a strong um, mental toughness, and also the clarity and connection with God, and just doing, and still loving, and still loving so many people, and being, you know there and present. It's amazing with
Thank
a
you,
love.
thank you. Because you know what? It very much well could have turned to hate. It very much well could have turned to hate,
Mhm.
especially like when I buried my mother, and and you know what? Guess what today is? December the 19th. Today is the day I lost my mother. Today is the day she closed her eyes for the very last time. December the 19th, and it was at 2 something in the morning. So yes, and when I scheduled this and when I went back and I looked at the date, I said, wow, wow, this is, and it's a bittersweet moment. And the reason why I say it's a bittersweet moment because I've told y'all in the clubhouse streets that my family was my worst enemy. My mother, this is December the 19th. She passed away December the 19th, 2012. She used to be the person that told me, shut up, nobody wanted to listen to you. And I'm just gonna feel like how she was, shut your damn mouth, you talk too much. Nobody wants to listen. She's the reason why I didn't talk a lot. But once I had to lose her, and I felt like I was about to lose my mind because she was my go-to person. That was the parent. If whatever I needed, she was always there. But understanding that her tongue was so powerful over my life, it kept me trapped. And I did not understand that until I lost her. So that's why I try to tell a lot of parents, be careful what you say over your children's life because the power of a parent's tongue is real. My mother kept saying, you're not going to do anything. You're going to be just like, your dad's side of the family. I mean, and that's what happened. That's why my background is the way that it is because of the things that she said now. And that's why I keep telling everybody in the clubhouse streets, if my mother was still alive, I would not be doing what I'm doing now. I wouldn't be in the clubhouse streets. I wouldn't be telling my story because I would be occupied doing something else that she wanted me to do, and I wouldn't understand what God called me to do because she didn't want me to see my own greatness because my own greatness would have made me surpass her and everyone else in my family. So again, sometimes our enemy are the people closest to us. We call them mama, daddy, uncle, auntie, grandmother, grandfather. But as long as we know whose we are and who we are in God, in Jesus Christ, whoever you believe in, because everyone believes in someone different. But just as long as we don't put all of our faith into people. I told a young man the other day when he called me, he said, "SwayLo, I need a word. I need a word." I said, "Don't be a follower." And he said, "Oh, whoa, I'm gonna have to think about that one." Because that's what he's doing. He wants people to follow him. He's on TikTok, you know. But the thing about it is, you call me to get a word, but then you go on TikTok and you use my word to, put out there and for everybody to follow. But you also have to be careful when you try to use somebody else's. That's why I said don't be a follower because you don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know the hell that they had to go through there in order to get the peace that they have or the calmness that they have. Because if you were to talk to somebody about me about 15, 20 years ago, I'll tell you what, 30 years ago, They'll be like, nope, that's not her. Nope, nope, no, that's not her. She would cuss you out in a heartbeat. But change is a wonderful thing. Change is a wonderful thing. And like I said, the programming that was instilled in me from my family, it was horrible, and I can understand honestly, and like I said, we've talked about this in the clubhouse streets, some of the rage in these kids and the shootings and stuff. Parents just need to talk to them and stop with the programming. Hurt people hurt, but when you learn better, you do better, and then you teach better. So I'm glad that people like you and Andrew
Mm,
and
mm.
Jahan and everybody else, or in the clubhouse streets, you take time to love yourself, to understand who you are and whose you are. Because if you don't understand whose you are and who you are, you can put out some negativity and some ugliness that we swear up and down is love, and that's just because of the program that was instilled in us. So again, thank you for the process. Thank you for your time. So,
Wow,
but yeah,
absolutely. Um, yeah. Yes, you're welcome. You just shared. I mean, it is so true. The words the parents have over their children. You just pointed out the power of their their words, and that's something that really uh, can help a lot of children moving. I mean, that's very important. Parents understand the power of their words over their children, and yeah, it's just it's such as I um, yes, thank you for sharing. Yeah, thank you for your shares.
yeah, you're welcome. But like I said, it's part of the process. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Hmm.
And we just have to be open and ready to accept it. We have to be ready to embrace it, but then we also have to be ready to do the work, and that's to look in the mirror and say, okay, I want better with my life, and this is what I'm going to do. So but I really want to know one thing. What made you, out of all of this time, what made you just say, I'm going to just come up and just start speaking. I'm just gonna start doing, because I mean, we're going back to the, how long it took you to start your process, because you were in the clubhouse streets in the room for a while, just hanging out, just listening. So what made you just say, okay, I'm finished listening and I want to say something now.
It just I just realized that it was just okay. Who will I can I help with? Who can I inspire with? Because each of one of us can touch people, you know. And I was just wanting to share. I know I didn't share a lot, however, just to share something that could be can help someone maybe think of another question or think of another way or ignite a thought that could lead them to decide uh, to prioritize themselves, taking care of themselves, because that's how we can actually help others. Because if we can take care of ourselves, then we can be much more valuable. Because the people require our light. They require it helps them, to see what's possible. So I just thought about that, and I thought, you know what, there's no reason to be quiet. There's already a lot of people are quiet, right? A lot of people can be
Hmm.
quiet. So just why not just speak? That's what I was thinking. And yes, and excuse me. Yes, and thank you for that opportunity to do that. You know what? I actually just realized that I became bolder. I've been thinking, what happened, what changed. I just realized I just got bolder, and I think it's doing certain things over and over. Maybe that's it. I think that it's just something just dawned on me, and I just decided, just realizing we have so much power, and it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what. yeah, it doesn't matter. So there's nothing to lose actually by showing up and like you say, and I strongly believe I'm not for everyone. I'm not for everyone. However, someone will hear this and it will help them start the process because I I really okay, yeah, pretty much, that's exactly I'll stop there.
Yeah. But that's what it is. Just because you stepped up, that's the first part of it. Just because you stepped up and you let someone know, okay, you know what, I was nervous, you know, and that's all of us, in the beginning of everything, whether it's when you first start driving, when you first go to work, when you first do anything, when you first start cooking, everything you are nervous. Speaking is even harder, and the reason why it's harder because you're telling your story, and now people are going to look at you, people are going to judge you, and but this is my whole story, my whole life. I wasn't ashamed when I was out there doing it. I wasn't ashamed when I was living it. So why would I be ashamed of telling it? And I had to get that. I really did. I was like, okay, so I'm not ashamed of God saving me every day. I'm not ashamed of saying, God, I need your help. But I'm gonna be ashamed of telling my story. I'm gonna be ashamed of God, well, telling people how God brought me from, through, and to. Now that's what I ought to be ashamed of. I ought to be ashamed because I've been saved for 48 years. And my birthday's in a couple of months. It's in February. So I'm almost 49. So I've been saved all of these times.
Mm,
And me and someone was just talking about this, how many times God has saved us, and we don't even know how many times because we are so unaware. We know some of the times, but we are unaware of all of the time. So that's why I said, like you were saying, have to step up, have to speak up, have to say what we need to say. See, I have this little lovely thing on my arm right here. It
oh,
says,
let's see.
walk by faith, live by love. That's it.
Oh, oh, it's
Yeah,
nice, beautiful.
yeah.
By faith,
So,
you have it right there.
um, yeah,
Mm,
and that's my life. I walk by faith and I live
mm,
by love. And my thing is, if I can't love you to life, then I'm gonna leave you right where you are, and I'm gonna let God do the rest. That's it. And I'm gonna go on with my life.
mm.
Yeah, that is it. So, anything new for you other than podcasting? Because I don't know how many more episodes you're gonna be on with us, but it's a journey, it's a process. So I mean, however many times you wanna come back, like I said, you are part of the family. Without you and everyone else that's gonna be on here, this wouldn't be possible.
Yay.
Again, because I didn't think that this was going anywhere, but here we are 2+ years later, and now we're coming out of Clubhouse, going to YouTube and Instagram and wherever else. Yeah,
Yes, yes, working together, it's really powerful, and I'm really excited for this because I know that what you share is life changing. So bringing it here, people can more like the world can tune in and learn something. Learn. And for me, let's see what am I doing? Yeah, more videos. Hey, that's it. More videos coming on, and maybe next time, maybe we can have. Who knows? Like maybe we can do like yeah. See how we can do this with more people, and
yeah, we can bring more people.
you know.
But it's just the time of the day because
Mm.
Natalie, I know Natalie, she would have loved to be here, but she's not available until after 4 p.m. And you and Natalie, y'all are on the
Oh,
same time frame.
really?
I'm the only one in Central. Everyone else is in Eastern because everyone else is in Canada or East Coast or somewhere up north. I'm the only Texan, I think. Yeah,
We'll make it work somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's the same thing Natalie said. She said, "We'll make it work. We'll make it work."
yeah.
Um, and I'm grateful, because you and Natalie, is y'all are my go-to people during this process. So, like I said again, thank you. And you see, we were supposed to start this. I want to say the beginning of the year. I think that's when we were talking about it. I think I started talking about this last year. But then the process showed me some things. And again, reason, season, lesson, blessing. Sometimes God will stop what we want to do because we have some of the wrong people in our boat. So, and until he removes those people from our boat is not going to sail anywhere. It's just going to stay right there at the dock. And we're going to be like, well, why is it not moving? Why is it not moving? But I had to see once those people were removed is when everything started to just free
Mm,
flow. And I was like, wow, wow. So again, that's something else, before we get ready to get out of here. I want to keep these kind of short and sweet. Don't want to, because in Clubhouse sometimes we've been in there for 9 hours, 4, 5, 7, 8. So I want to keep this. I don't want to be, one of
it's true.
those Clubhouse holiday meetings. I call it a holiday meeting. Oh yeah, and Christmas, 'tis the season. So, we will be on Clubhouse more. I
Mm,
missed the room yesterday. Well, yeah, missed the room yesterday, and it will not be today
it's okay.
because I respect my DJ, which is Jay Han. He has his mendable room on Monday and Thursday. Whew, that was hard for me to get out. But and guess what? I don't edit anything. I do not. I record this, but I don't edit. I do not edit any. And people's like, well, why do you record it? I'm like, I just want to because I want you to see
Hmm.
before I put it out. Because if you might be like, Swaylo, no, I don't want that. Don't do that. Out of respect to the guest. That's why I do it. But I don't edit anything. I just like I said, life is not edited. Life is raw and uncut. So I really feel that this should be raw and uncut because this is not just my purpose. This is our purpose. It's not just about me. It's about us. It's about a team. So again, with that being said, I want to thank you very, very much for being part of the team. Um, Thank you for not being ashamed, and thank you for saying, you know what, I want to tell my story. So with that, do you have anything to say before we get ready to get out of here?
Oh, thank you. I like your you're very. I can see you're very kind. You're very. I'm thinking of calm. However, I'm thinking of another word, but anyway, I'll think when I think of it. I have a question actually for you.
Mhm.
So just a quick question: how you built yourself up? What would you say was like the whole process was the one thing that like stood out the most for you?
Wait, what do you mean by built myself up? That got me here to stand on my faith? Is that what
That
you're?
give you the like what encourages you the most? I'll say like what encourages you to keep on.
Okay, the promise, God's promise.
Mm,
That is what encourages me the most.
mm,
That is because just because I know the hell that I've been through. I know that my mother wasn't even supposed to have me. So with her not even supposed to have me, and with all of the people trying to stop me my whole entire life, I'm standing on his promise. I'm standing on his word because it's as long as I can make it through. Like I
mm,
said, I had to deprogram and reprogram and
mm.
understand his word and his promise. Now that I understand his word and his promise, I'm like 1,000% geared in. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready for my blessing. I'm ready for everything. I'm ready for my harvest because
Yes.
the small blessings that I have now, that I'm reaping now, is they are so pleasant. They are so wonderful. And i- if it's better than, well, I know it's better than this. So since I know it's better than this, I just keep going, because it's gonna be mind blowing, and I know that, because I look at myself now and I'm like, is this really happening? I'm like, wow, because I lost everything, in 2018, because of the car wrecks I was in, and even lost my ability to walk. So yeah, coming out of all of that, it's a blessing. So the promise. Uh, And thank you for asking that. That was very good.
Powerful.
But yeah, yeah, it's his promise.
Yes, much more, abundantly. And yes, thank you for doing for what you do, and
Welcome, and thank
you're doing a
you.
fantastic work. And just, you know, it's yes, it's shining, and you're a bright light. So we'll continue, you know, to do it because, yes, like you said, it's powerful and meaningful, and that's you're on your path, and so that's the best place to be on to for everything, for everything. The purpose is really powerful thing.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Especially when you have to sit alone. And we'll talk about that
We'll
later
talk.
on, because sometimes you do have to sit alone. Sometimes you have to sit down and let people go and understand who he's trying to remove from your life, because those people are not going to be beneficial in your future. And then he's going to replace them with people that are beneficial, but they may not be in your life for the whole season. Like I said, reason, season, lesson, blessing. That's why I had to understand God is the only person that will never leave nor forsake me. So sometimes getting too close to people, it's a distraction. But then we'll talk about that again also. That's another episode. There's just a lot of things, when it comes to self-care awareness, that we were not taught, but we get wrapped up in, and then we lose ourselves, and then we lose focus. And as long as we keep our eye on our prize, I know what my prize is. You know what your prize is. Everyone has to figure out what their prize is. Everyone's prize is different. And as long as we stop taking advice from other people, the only advice I can give is pray. Pray, take your life back. Yeah. Anything else other than that, I can't tell you, because if I try to tell you something, that's what I would do for my life. My life, what I would do for my life is not going to work for you. So again, just be careful in taking that advice. Um, be careful in following people. And if you're going to follow anyone, go to a Bible, find you a God, find you, whatever Jesus, whatever God you want to, but just know that there's a higher power out there, and it's not in these people, because people will leave and they will forsake you at some point. We all have an expiration date. We're all born to die. And I don't want to be so blunt like that, but it's the truth, and some people say, well, what am I going to do? Well, what we should have been doing in the beginning, and that's going to God in prayer and asking for direction, asking for discernment, asking for clarity, guidance, and all that other stuff. So, again, thank you for being here. And without God, none of this would be possible. Without the Clubhouse family, I love Clubhouse. At first, I didn't know what Clubhouse was, but here we are. Been on Clubhouse for a little bit over 3 years, but been doing self care awareness for 2+ years, and now we're just expanding. So, like I said, love everyone to life on purpose for your purpose. And it's my time, 12:47 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's still early enough to get out and work your purpose. So, with that being said, y'all, until we meet again,
Yes.
we're Whitney,
All
and
right.
all right, blessings
Cheers.
to all.
Cheers.
All right, now.
Nice to see you. All right. Oh. All right.